So one of the ways that Copilot can be really useful to improve your productivity and save you time is to automate some of your work. So you can use Copilot to run tasks, carry out jobs essentially on a regular basis. So you can do this using a feature called scheduled prompts. Now this replaces a previous feature called actions that disappeared very quickly, but that's just as well because it wasn't a very successful or useful feature. So great that we now have scheduled prompts, which does work, has one or two limitations which I'll point out, but overall it's a really handy feature. So let's get straight into showing you how you can use it. So first of all, you need to be in the Work tab. So the Work tab is where Copilot accesses your organizational information and data. If you're in the Web tab, scheduled prompts simply doesn't exist. It doesn't operate. However, you can still use scheduled prompts to access the internet, because just because you're in the Work tab doesn't exclude Copilot from accessing the internet. So let's do a practical example and see how it works. So I'm just going to paste in a prompt that I've prepared here. So review my slide decks for AI training for NILC created this year. Identify those that need updating and suggest relevant updates. So a real time saver of a task, that one, if I was to carry it out myself. But even more of a time saver, the fact that I could run this probably every 2 weeks or every month. So I am getting constant, regularly updated information, and possibly it might even offer to create my slide decks for me as well. But if it doesn't, I can always go back and ask it to do that. So I just noticed here that we've got another prompt. This is a good example of another one that you might be able to run on a regular basis. Summarize messages from my manager in the last 48 hours. So you can probably see that that could be quite useful to set off every 2 to 3 days. So another good example of running a task against your organization's data. In this case, messages. Equally, that could be emails. So by messages, it means like Teams messages, Teams chat, as well as emails. So let's run this prompt now and see how we get on. So should identify some NILC slide decks related to AI. So reviewed 17 different files there. So you can see that we've got some files coming in with some suggestions of Copilot and GPTs in action. Include recent Microsoft updates. Yeah, fair enough, because there have been updates in that area there, and a comment there also says practical and aligned with your training goals, so and still relevant. So it's useful bit of commentary there. Then we got needing minor tweaks. So good structure and engagement, but some stats are repeated, feel dated. Fair enough. What is AI section could be condensed. So lots of recommendations basically around these NILC slide decks here, and a sort of specific recommendations at the bottom. Here we've got outdated or client specific, and yeah, you can see that these actually aren't for NILC, but at least it's kind of like pointed that out. And I haven't actually asked for non-AI focused slide decks, but it's put those in. I think it's just picked up on the NILC references there. And just as I suspected, quite helpful. Would you like help updating any of these decks now, or creating a new one for your next NILC session? I can also suggest visuals, exercises, or talking points tailored to your audience. So pretty helpful there. Identified all the decks it's picked up. So all in all, a really useful response. But this is just on a single one-off basis. How do we get this to run regularly? So what you need to do is highlight this the prompt, your original prompt here, and you'll notice in the little toolbar at the top you've got a clock symbol. So if we select the clock, you can then schedule the prompts to run on a regular basis. So as I was saying before, let's probably go every 2 weeks. So we can say every well, actually we haven't got the 2-week option, but we've got a monthly option, so let's go with that. So we'll go every month, and we'll run that for a year, so over 12 months, and you can put that at a specific time period there. So we're all good, it's confirmed. Repeat this prompt every month at 2 o'clock until Wednesday the 15th of July. That'll be next year. Now I mentioned there was a couple of limitations. So one is really how you're notified. So at the moment you just get the results within Copilot. It is flagged up with a bit of colouring on the left hand side, but it would be nice, wouldn't it, if you got an email notification, but it's not available yet. And I say yet because it looks like, given the color here, that implies that that's an option. So it may be that you're going to be able to suggest email as an option in due course, which would be great. So if we want to run that every month, then I can click save to do that. You can see that I've got some others here. So got a similar one around checking documents or slide decks that were recently updated there, and some ones that have run their course about obtaining AI news. So that would be an internet-based or browser-based search there, and also one related to stock market prices. That is another example of the sort of thing you can run regularly by getting Copilot to go out on the internet and doing some research. If you want to make some changes, so if you want to run it straight away, you want to turn it off, you want to delete it altogether, you can just select the three dots on any of these prompts here. And that, I think, is pretty much it. So handy feature for using Copilot to help you carry out tasks on a regular basis.